What's up everybody? I'm back with another special interactions video. This is my third video of this series. If you haven't seen the first two, go check them out. I'll link them above as well as in the description below. And this is just a video series where I like to showcase some unique and rare interactions that a lot of people don't know about because they don't happen that often. Okay, they'll only happen with certain cards in certain locations. And it's good to know about it before you learn the hard way if you lose 8 cubes because you didn't know how that card or location worked. So let's get into it. So we are starting with interaction number 9 because I've covered a total of 8 interactions so far in my previous 2 videos. But for this interaction, it's that Kingpin's ability is still active at the end of a 6-turn game. Okay, now this one is very niche. You will rarely find this out the hard way. Kingpin, his ability is that when a card moves here on turn 6 to destroy it. Okay, so it should only be active on turn 6. Whereas you look at a card like Captain Marvel and her ability is at the end of a game, move to a location that wins you the game if possible. So at first glance, it would appear that Kingpin's ability is only active at turn 6, and once the game ends, it's no longer active, and a card like Captain Marvel could move there, but that is not the case, okay? Unless you had Limbo pop up in the game and it was actually 7 turns. If it was a 6-turn game, Kingpin's ability is active on turn 6 and throughout the end of the game stage. So to show off how this might look in a game, if on turn 6 here you had Captain Marvel and you just played America Chavez on the left, your opponent has Kingpin on the middle. He's got that whole funny footprints, death stamp thing going on, so you know you cannot move cards there. And your opponent's also winning the right location. It would seem as though maybe you're going to win this game. Okay, maybe your Captain Marvel at the very end is going to fly over to the middle and win that location because she has 6 power and Kingpin has 4 power. But what will really happen is nothing. Okay, Captain Marvel will not move. She cannot move to the right location to win you the game because she has 6 power and your opponent has 9 there. And she cannot move to the middle location to win you the game because she would die. Okay, you are at the end of game stage, but it was a 6-turn game and Kingpin's ability stayed active. Captain Marvel will not move and you have lost this game. Our next interaction involves unrevealed cards and how they interact with things like the Bifrost location. So the Bifrost reads that after turn 4, move all cards 1 location to the right. Okay, but if a card is hidden by something like Invisible Woman or the location Dream Dimension, those cards in fact will not move. Only the already revealed cards will be moved to the right. So to look at this in game, we're looking at a situation where it's turn 4, we've got Invisible Woman down and 2 other cards that are currently unrevealed because they're being hidden by Invisible Woman's ongoing ability. Now when we get to the end of turn 4, the Bifrost is going to move all revealed cards 1 location to the right, and this is what it's going to look like. So Invisible Woman is going to get pushed over at the end of turn 4 by the Bifrost, but those 2 unrevealed cards will not get moved. They're going to stay put, so they're no longer behind Invisible Woman's coverage. Now they will actually not flip over right away. They will last 1 full turn where they're still unrevealed, and at the end of turn 5 they will then reveal, and by the time turn 6 comes around, those cards will now be revealed. Our next ability is looking at the cutest baby land shark out there. We're looking at Jeff. Now many of you may already know this, but some of you may not, because his description doesn't really get into too many details. It just reads that nothing can stop you from moving or playing this to any location. But in addition to just being able to play on hard locations or locations where you cannot add or play cards to, he can also be played even if you're limited to just playing 1 card a turn. Okay, Jeff can be your second card. As long as you have the energy to play Jeff, and as long as you have space on the board to play Jeff, he can be played. So even if you have a card like Electro down or Sandman, you can play Jeff. So for a quick example, we say that turn 3, you played Electro. You now have his ongoing ability active that you can only play 1 card per turn. But when turn 4 comes around, you can play Killmonger and then Jeff. You have the 5 energy to do it, and it's okay that you're playing 2 cards because the second card is Jeff. Okay, it is important to note you need to play Killmonger and then Jeff. It's not going to work the other way around. And for our last interaction of this video, we are going to be looking at Storm and her flooding versus flooded locations. Now this will actually be pretty important, as next month we will have a card like Legion coming out which can copy other locations, and I've already seen people kind of theory craft and think that they can close off all the locations by turn 5, but it does not work like that. Okay, that combo does not work. If you copy Storm's flooding location, whether it's from a card or from a location such as Mirror Dimension, that flooding location will have to last 1 full turn while it's flooding. Okay, so it actually lasts 1 additional turn than the original before it becomes flooded. Now, it's okay if what I said just now doesn't make much sense, because we're going to look at an example of this. So let's say it's the start of turn 3 in your game. We've got the location Mirror Dimension on the left. So at the start of the next turn, being turn 4, it's going to transform into one of the other locations. So in turn 3, if you go ahead and you place Storm in the middle, so by the end of turn 3, you'll see that the location has started flooding, and you'll obviously see what your opponents played. In this case, we'll just say they played Cosmo on the left. At the start of turn 4, Mirror Dimension is going to copy this flooding location. Okay, it's 50-50 between this flooding location and Sokovia. We'll say it copies the flooding location. So turn 4 comes around, and we're going to go ahead and place Super Scroll in the middle. The board currently looks like the left and the middle location are both flooding, and it's the last turn that cards can be played on either location. That is not the case. Okay, at the start of turn 4, you're going to see both locations flooding, but it is only the middle location that will have been flooding for the entire turn, because the left location started flooding after the turn began. So by the end of turn 4, your opponent's going to play their card, and we will see that this middle location has flooded, but the left location is still showing as flooding. Now when turn 5 comes around and we look to play, say, Abomination on the left, we can do that because that location is still open, it's still flooding. This is now the last turn a card can be played there. So we'll say your opponent plays a card there as well, and at the end of turn 5, this location is now flooded. And at the start of turn 6, of course, the left and middle locations are flooded, and both players can only play on the right. So it's important to know about this delay. On turn 3, you played Storm in the middle, so the middle location started flooding that turn, but it was turn 4 where it had the whole turn to flood. Okay, so it ended up being flooded at the end of turn 4. Turn 4 is when the left location started flooding, so it gets all of turn 5 to finish that flooding process, we'll call it, and only at the end of turn 5 will it be considered flooded. So if you're looking to combine Storm with Legion, it's not going to work out unless you can get Legion out on turn 4. Right now he's a 5 cost, and if you copy Storm's ability on turn 5, both players will still be able to plan that location on turn 6. Okay, it's not going to close it off by the end of turn 5 if you copied a flooding location that turn. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any other special interactions that I have not covered yet, feel free to drop them in the comments down below. I may use them in a future video. And I'm still getting my voice back, so sorry if I sound a bit raspy, but I'll be good soon, and I'll see you next time.